A Richmond County student looking for an apology after he says his teacher cut the collar of his shirt with scissors. His mom wants more than that, so she called 12 on your side.
Plus, the godfather of soul heading to the big screen. Tonight, his daughter is talking to 12 all about it.
News 12 at 6 o'clock in high definition starts now.
Good evening, I'm Meredith Anderson.
I'm Richard Rogers. Good to have you here. When school starts back Monday, one Richmond County teacher will not be in the classroom.
Instead, middle school teacher Thurston Williams is on leave, charged with simple battery against a student. Now, that's not with the sheriff's office, that charge coming down from BOE police. The Tut Middle School math teacher says all of this was meant as a joke. Tonight, though, the boy's mom is not laughing. She's talking to 12 on your side's Jerome Collins.
Meredith, that's right. The mother of this 12-year-old doesn't want this teacher on leave. She wants him arrested and out of the classroom, period.
He's a good teacher.
12-year-old Wesley Longhurst says he always liked his 7th grade math teacher, but he doesn't feel that way anymore.
I was like, man, what are you doing? I didn't like it.
Wesley says last Friday his teacher Thurston Williams acted badly. He says it began after another student started shoving Wesley during class.
I pushed him back with the ruler in my hand, and it snapped.
He says his teacher did not like what happened.
And he said, you break something of mine, I'll break something of yours.
The teacher admitted to police that's when he took a pair of scissors from his desk, walked toward the boy, and cut the collar of his shirt.
Were you scared?
I was confused, because I didn't think he would do that.
Neither did Wesley's mother, Sandra.
I'm angry that he would come at my child with a pair of scissors.
News 12 obtained this incident report filed with the Richmond County Board of Education. In it, teacher Thurston Williams says he did not want to cause harm, nor was he trying to injure, but that it was a joke that went wrong. Sandra Longhurst is not laughing.
Who gave him the right to put his hands on my child?
The BOE investigator says he doesn't believe Thurston Williams meant any harm to the student. Meanwhile, the boy's mother questions whether the teacher should be in a classroom at all.
I don't really feel like he's fit to be teaching children, if that's his idea of punishment.
I'd like him to apologize.
For now, Wesley has been moved to another math class at Tut Middle. His mom doesn't blame the school or county school system, but she says she wants criminal charges brought against Thurston Williams. She told us she plans to file charges with the sheriff's office.
Before we check in with Chief Meteorologist Shane Butler, let's take a look outside on this beautiful Friday evening. Hello, weekend.
And that's the road home right there. This is the Calhoun Expressway out of our live eye camera network. And Shane, it's a beautiful afternoon.
Good looking start to our weekend, and we'll keep lots of sunshine for an hour or so here. Take a look at it. You've got it Wheeler Road at I-20 live eye cam. Skies are blue for us. Temperature comfortable at 66 at this hour. Dew points in the 20s, and our winds are out of the south at around 11 miles per hour. Around the region as a whole, we're looking at mid-60s for the most part. A little warmer. Sylvania at 67. Aiken, you're at 64. Milledgeville checking in at 68. Satellite and your radar combined. Everybody enjoying this good-looking start to the weekend. A lot of sunshine all the way toward the coast. Back out toward the west, though, you see the clouds, and these will be working from the west toward the east. They'll move in here later tonight, and we'll see a few of those. In the meantime, at 8 o'clock, looking pretty good for you if you're out and about. And temperatures mild at 60, 54 by 10, and we're into the around 50 degrees with a few clouds working our way as we head toward midnight, and the clouds will thicken up overnight. It looks like we'll have those during the day tomorrow. We've got some rain on the way. We'll take a look at that and the rest of your weekend forecast coming up in just a bit.
Still developing on 12. No word yet what sparked this fire in Belvedere.
Crews have been working since around 4 o'clock this afternoon to get rid of these flames and heavy smoke. Crews say no one was inside the mobile home when the fire broke out. From the crime team, 8 homes broken into in Aiken County in one community. The New Ellington police now putting extra pressure on the streets with more patrols there. The police department says it needs the community's help to find out who's responsible for this rash of burglaries. Right now, they need your eyes and ears to help them keep these neighborhoods safe.
Even if we had this place with 200 officers, still the public's going to be the one that's going to help us more than anything else.
The New Ellington PD chief says she's looking to get more officers and possibly a set of reserve officers in a program. If you have any information about the crime, call New Ellington Police or the Aiken County Sheriff's Office.
Aiken deputies still on the lookout tonight for 2 home invasion suspects. Deputies say 2 men broke into a home on Alex Drive in Warrenville. The victim says one of the 2 men pointed a 9mm pistol at his head and asked for cash. The report says the suspects made off with a bank card, 2 cell phones, and some other items too. In Georgia, if you are stopped for a DUI and it is not your first or even your second or your third, officers can seize your vehicle, and that's exactly what they're doing. As News 12's Laura Warren reports, they hope it sends a clear message.
That's right, Mayor. Harlem Public Safety is in the process of seizing their first car from a DUI case. A DUI suspect accused of leading them on a chase through the county before being arrested for his 4th DUI.
You're looking at dash cam video as a Harlem public safety officer tries to pull over this vehicle when it starts crossing over the center line. But the car won't stop.
Chase lasted about 12 to 14 minutes.
Dispatch is taking a right on the Old Union Road.
The chase continues with the driver swerving across the road, reaching high speeds before he finally runs out of gas.
He's pulling over, dispatch. He's pulling over. He's pulling over.
The suspect was taken into custody, charged with his 4th DUI. Harlem is in the process of filing paperwork with the DA's office to seize his vehicle.
We hope it sends a clear message that, it's not going to be tolerated and that it will deter them from driving, because, a habitual violator on the road with a 4th DUI, it's, in my opinion, is like a murder weapon going up the road.
And it's a win for everyone, except the suspect, unless the car isn't paid for.
What you have to be concerned about is how much money is owed or what the lien is on whatever vehicle that you seize.
In that case, it depends on how much is owed and if the difference in profit is worth it. The proceeds from whatever is earned will go to alcohol training in hopes of preventing others from getting behind the wheel drunk.
We actually put on an alcohol awareness class for teenagers last summer, so we might be able to incorporate something like that again.
They hope to send a message not only to DUI offenders, but also to drug dealers.
Oh yeah, we'll continue to seize any property whatsoever that we have the legal right to do so, particularly from drug dealers.
Now, in a case like this, once the papers are served from the DA, the suspect has 30 days to respond to challenge that decision. If the response isn't sent in a timely manner within those 30 days, the court will automatically authorize the sale of the car.
All right, thanks a lot, Laura. Also in Harlem, a little motivation for police officers there. Now, for every felony arrest, each officer gets a lightning bolt right there on the car. And officers are also getting new patches as well. Find out why they started this program all ahead tonight on News 12 at 11 o'clock. The first leg of Aiken's Triple Crown events get rolled up tomorrow. The gates will open up at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning for the 72nd Aiken Trials. The opening ceremonies and the carriage parade begin at 1 o'clock. Races begin at 2. It'll cost you $10 for parking, another $10 to get in the gates. There's also a VIP tent party for $75.
Today we talked with Cott Campbell, who has 3 horses in the Aiken Trial. Campbell won the Belmont Stakes last year with Palace Malice. This morning, all of the money raised at the breakfast at the Gallops went to the Aiken Thoroughbred Hall of Fame and Museum. The president of Dogwood Stable says, of course, he wants his horses to win, but either way, Mr. Campbell says this weekend will be great for the younger horses.
Once the trials are over, we start making plans to ship our young horses to the racetrack, to New York or Kentucky. And so the season is sort of beginning to wane, and we're moving on to the next thing.
He says the crowd of about 10,000 or so is good for these newer racehorses, so they can get used to all the hooting and hollering.
And from horse races to concerts, only lawn seats are up for sale now for the upcoming Lady A concert.
I don't know why you don't take me downtown like you got anywhere better to be.
In just 4 minutes, gold tickets were sold out today, and reserve tickets sold out within a couple of hours this morning after going on sale at 10 o'clock this morning. If you want to see Lady A live, check out our Facebook page. Look for the photo of Lady Annabella there. You can buy a $25 lawn seat when you click on that link.
A big chunk of Augusta's history is hitting the box office. In just a couple of minutes, what James Brown's family wants you to take away from the film.
And parents, we're on your side with a free way to keep your kids safe. Up next, where to get fingerprints done in Augusta this weekend.
It's coming. The life of Augusta's own James Brown will hit the big screen this summer.
The Godfather of Soul had a life full of ups and downs, and now everybody will be able to have a chance to experience some of that through this new movie, Get On Up. News 12's George Lopez spoke with family and friends who hope this is a box office hit coming out this summer.
They sure do hope everyone goes to go see it. James Rouse knew James Brown for a long time, and Deanna Brown Thomas is James Brown's daughter. I asked them both what they think this whole movie is going to do for James Brown's legacy. And now the world will have a chance to know him a little better through a movie hitting theaters in August.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Get On Up will take moviegoers from James Brown's childhood all the way to the big time. And while many here in his hometown are excited, some say one thing will be missing.
I think Mr. Brown would be very disappointed that the movie wasn't filmed in Augusta.
James Rouse, a.k.a. JR, was a close friend to James Brown. So close that the King of Funk even gave him a shout during his last interview with News 12.
Well, I thank God, I thank Mr. J.R. Rouse.
Brown credits Rouse with getting 9th Street named after him, but Rouse wants everyone to give credit where it's due.
Out of all the things people criticize James Brown and the news media, you never heard James Brown retaliate about anybody.
And it's not just friends talking about the Godfather of Soul's new movie, families reacting too.
It's going to highlight parts of his life.
Deanna Brown Thomas is James Brown's daughter. She says parts of the movie are not pretty, but that's life.
There are going to be some good, some bad, and some ugly. But that's what made him the Godfather of Soul, James Brown.
Jason Brown is Brown's grandson, and he also worked on the film. He says at times he even had to do a double take on the lead actor.
I would stare for a second. Of course, he's a bit taller. However, the prosthetic makeup put me in the same situation as when I remember him.
And while Chadwick Boseman may favor James Brown, JR says the best can never be duplicated.
Once you went to one of James Brown's shows, you had something to talk about for the rest of the year.
Rouse is hoping people won't get caught up on the drug use and focus more on the music. He says Elvis Presley is mostly remembered for the music, and he hopes everybody does the same for James Brown. Richard?
I'll tell you one thing right now, I'm going to want the soundtrack from that film. Can you imagine how good that's going to be?
I think it's going to be great, and it's also weird and also awesome to see you on there at the same time talking to James Brown.
Well, it was great to know the man and to actually have a chance to sit down with him. But what about the family's plan with all this? I know they had some reservations because it shows the good and the bad, but what about the premiere?
Well, they're actually excited. They're going to be headed to LA to go see and be a part of all of that. And also, if you want to see a couple pictures of James Brown right here in Augusta, we're going to have that slideshow on WRDW.com along with the trailer for the movie, which is actually very, very good.
I'll be looking forward to that. George, thanks a lot.
Sounds good.
Middle school parents in Aiken have the chance to get some FaceTime with teachers and local agencies tomorrow at the Right Choices, Right Track, Bright Future event. 5th to 8th grade students and families can listen to speakers talk more about the challenges ahead and how to meet them. There'll be Walgreens reps there talking about over-the-counter drugs, safety, social networking safety, and a whole lot more.
Sometimes parents feel like, especially as that child is coming into middle school, sometimes they feel like, okay, I'm like faltering with this. I don't know where to turn to. My child is changing. My child is growing up.
Well, the event is free for parents and students in Aiken County. It's tomorrow morning, Schofield Middle School, starting at 9:30.
And we're on your side with a way to keep your kids safe. You have about 45 minutes or so left to get to Kia of Augusta and get a digital record of your child's fingerprint for free. The event's put on by Operation KIDSAFE. Parents can get some safety advice too and an emergency form just in case.
It's nice to have that information because our children are doing more and more these days. They're involved in so much more than when I was a kid. They travel more, they run with friends more, and there are over 2,000 children reported missing every day in this country.
Even though today is wrapping up, tomorrow you can drop by the Gordon Highway location from 10 in the morning until 4 p.m.
Well, before we check in again with Shane, let's get another live look outside.
A beautiful Friday, this time to Wheeler Road and I-20. Shane, can't complain as the weekend kicks off.
Yeah, it's a nice start to the weekend, no doubt about that, but things are changing for us, though. Clouds will be increasing tonight. It's still a mild Saturday, but we've got a rainy pattern ahead. I'll show you coming up.